Out of these there are 4 classes of men. Those who are sometimes distressed, those who are in need of money, those who are sometimes inquisitive, and those who are sometimes searching after knowledge of the absolute truth. These persons come to the Supreme Lord for devotional service under different conditions. These are not pure devotees because they have some inner aspiration to fulfill in exchange of devotional service. Pure devotional service without aspiration and without desire for material profit. The Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu from Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.11 defines pure devotion thus. Translation. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favourably and without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional service. When these 4 kinds of persons come to the Supreme Lord for devotional service and are completely purified by the association of a pure devotee, they also become pure devotees. As far as the miscreants are concerned, for them devotional service is very difficult because their lives are selfish, irregular, and without spiritual goals. But even some of them, by chance, when they come in contact with a pure devotee, also become pure devotees. Those who are always busy with fruitive activities come to the Lord in material distress and at that time associate with pure devotees and become, in their distress, devotees of the Lord. Those who are simply frustrated also come sometimes to associate with the pure devotees and become inquisitive to know about God. Similarly, when the dry philosophers are frustrated in every field of knowledge, they sometimes want to learn of God, and they come to the Supreme Lord to render devotional service and thus transcend knowledge of the impersonal Brahman and the localized Paramatma, and come to the personal conception of Godhead by the grace of the Supreme Lord or his pure devotee. On the whole, when the distressed, the inquisitive, the seekers of knowledge, and those who are in need of money are free from all material desires, and when they fully understand that material remuneration has nothing to do with spiritual improvement, they become pure devotees. As long as such a purified stage is not attained, devotees in transcendental service to the Lord are tainted with fruitive activities, the search for mundane knowledge, etc. So one has to transcend all this before one can come to the stage of pure devotional service. Would you like to give an explanation? Say something.
So first, what is explained here about pure bhakti is like the key sloka to understand what really bhakti means. This is Anya Bilasitam Shunyam Jnana Kamati Anya Vidam Anukulyena Krishnano Chilanam Bhakti Uttama. This explains Bhakti Uttama, the highest form or level of bhakti. And this means that you do everything exclusively for the pleasure of Krishna without any self-interest, without what we heard before, these 4 kinds of people. They are coming to Krishna because they have some self-interest. They want to have something, they want to have knowledge, they want to have money, they are sick, they want to have a better life. And really pure bhakti means without any self-interest. And also it's written jnana kamati anavritam. This means without speculative knowledge, without yoga, what means to do any austerities, and without karma fruitive activities. And it should be always in an uninterrupted flow And it's, you can see an example, like when you have honey, it's only a continuously flow of honey, and in this way should we perform bhakti to come to this steps that we can get free of the mixed bhakti like Kama Mishra Bhakti, Jnana Mishra Bhakti, that it comes really to the step of pure bhakti.
It's an important verse now. Important. Let's read the next one now. Text 17, translation. Of these, the one who is in full knowledge and who is always engaged in pure devotional service is the best. For I am very dear to him, and he is dear to me. Free from all contaminations of material desires, the distressed, the inquisitive, the penniless, and the seeker after supreme knowledge can all become pure devotees. But out of them, he who is in knowledge of the absolute truth and free from all material desires becomes a really pure devotee of the Lord. And of the four orders, the devotee who is in full knowledge and at the same time engaged in devotional service is, the Lord says, the best. By searching after knowledge, one realizes that his self is different from his material body, and when further advanced, he comes to the knowledge of impersonal Brahman and Paramatma. When one is fully purified, he realizes that his constitutional position is to be the eternal servant of God. So, by association with pure devotees, the inquisitive, the distressed, the seeker after material amelioration, and the man in knowledge all become themselves pure. But in the preparatory stage, the man who is in full knowledge of the Supreme Lord and at the same time executing devotional service is very dear to the Lord. He who is situated in pure knowledge of the act of the transcendental, of the transcendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is so protected in devotional service that material contamination cannot touch him. So that's like expanding on the last verse. Would that say something wrong? Please.
But I think before it said pure bhakti means not jnana, because in the first Anya Bilasita Shunyam's the first line says what is not bhakti, and the second line says what is bhakti, and there is the word jnana, and it said here jnana is not bhakti, but still to perform bhakti we need jnana, we need the knowledge, but we need the knowledge who I am, who is God, what is the relationship between me and God, and all this knowledge is important, but it should not be a way of speculative knowledge. It always should be in context to the Shastras.
Yeah. There's a danger that you may feel puffed up if you know so much knowledge. So like what's the deal? Pramana, any thoughts?
Yeah.
Everybody listen up.